Hey, I'm Roland with Mobile Geeks, and we're right here at CES 2016, and we were just giving this lovely device called Huawei Mate 8. That's the phone that just launched, I think, like a month ago in China, and now they're finally bringing it to Europe and the rest of the world, except maybe for the US. Still, they handed out these lovely review devices, and I'm just going to quickly unbox this thing for you. So it's the follow-up to this Mate 7, which is right here. That's my trusty, well-trusted trade fair show phone, basically, because it has this massive 4,100 milliamp hour battery, and this is what they're continuing it with, because the Mate 8 also has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It's still a 6-inch device. You'll end up with pretty much the same measurements. It's exactly the same size as its predecessor. It's even the same thickness. It's the same length, same width. It has a better display. It's bumped up to 95% of color gamut right now, and same resolution, 1920 by 1080. Under the hood, there's a new Kirin 950, which is their octa-core SoC containing 4 ARM Cortex A75 SoCs, or chips, or not chips, but cores. And yeah, so that's the first phone that uses actually the Cortex A72, but we'll get back to the phone in a little second. Let me just try and show you the rest of what's in the box. So over here we obviously have the accessory box, which is headphones. Nice to have them included. So we have your standard micro USB cable, plus these kind of look like Apple earplugs, which nobody ever uses because we all have better headphones, I guess. Over here is the charger. While it looks standard, it is actually a quick charger, so you will be able to charge your phone fast, because this has 9 volts and 2 amps. So this should put out 18 watts. Which makes the phone charge faster. You should be at about 90% after just 80 minutes on this 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Let's go deeper down, and I think this is only the rest of the paperwork, basically. Ooh, nice. We even get a cover with it. So you'll not only get the pretty much useless paperwork, but you'll also get this TPU cover. Pretty simple design, actually. Keeps your space free for the fingerprint reader and the 16 megapixel camera on the back. It's going to look pretty good. There are 4 different colors. There's a new mocha brown. We have the space gray model right here. There are also a white version, and I think there is a silver model too. In Europe, this is launching only in space gray and the silver model, as far as I know. And yeah, I don't know about the US or the rest of the world, but mainly China is probably going to get the matcha version right now. Let's go further on around the device. There's 2 models. There's a premium version that will have 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of flash storage. This right here is the 3 gig model containing 32 gigs of flash storage. The European model will only be available for now using those 32 gigs. There's also a base model, which is probably only available in China, with 16 gigs of onboard flash storage. You can definitely extend the storage, because over here we have a combined slot, so there's only 1 slot in here, but this actually takes 2 SIM cards, plus you have the choice of exchanging one of the SIM cards for a SD card. Let's quickly go around. Up here we have your 8 megapixel front-facing camera, which definitely will do a good job. If you look at the sides here, you'll have this 2D curved design that you know probably from the Mate 8 already. On the other hand, on the other side, you have the volume rocker, all machined from aluminum, like the rest of the device on the back there. That's your power button right there, very nicely placed actually for my big hands at least. And another new feature that I only just noticed is they will have a landscape mode for their Android 6.0 home screen. Let's go over to the back. We have a 16 megapixel camera back here, so they've fine-tuned their camera, and I think that's pretty much the same camera that they have on the Mate S. This is their new fingerprint sensor, so it is the same design pretty much like on the Nexus 6P or on the Mate S, but it's faster for the one part, and the other hand, it's supposed to be more accurate and secure because it's now measuring not only the pattern of your fingerprints, but it's also measuring some ridges and some other factors that are supposed to make the device more secure. I'm not going to take this off, but because you can see, we still have this nice metal finish to it. You get the plastic covers at the bottom here, and at the top, that's for the antennas. But a difference towards the Mate 7 is actually that it's fully metal around the frame. So there's only cutouts up here, and it's not only just covers put on. to the device there. There's a dual LED flash up here, and that's pretty much it from the outside. The whole thing is 7.9 millimeters thick, as I said, just the same as the Mate 7, and it has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty much the killer feature for me in this case. Up top, you'll have your headset jack. That's where the audio recording is done. It has directional audio recording, so there's a bunch of more mics on this device, so you can definitely define the direction in which you want to record the sound on your videos, for example. At the bottom, you get two speakers, or two speaker grills, but only one of them is actually a speaker. That's the typical tactics that a bunch of manufacturers, and especially Huawei, have been using. That's your micro USB port right there, and that is pretty much it about the Mate 8. There are a bunch of special features on this, so as you can see, it's definitely not running your standard Android 6.0 experience, but if I go into the About, we see that this is a running Android 6.0 covered by the EMUI 4.0. This design isn't everybody's darling, basically, but many people like it. I personally love it pretty much, and you either hate it or you love it. It looks like an iPhone for many people. You don't have an app drawer on here, so you are pretty much using your start screen for everything in this case. Let me just quickly switch into the camera app right here. I will not allow you to, you can't use the camera obviously if you do not activate the GPS stuff, it seems. Let's go back here and let me try and show you how quickly it focuses. So we're in the press room right now, and I'm just going to quickly tap anywhere, and as you can see, it's still pretty fast and still allows you to change the aperture on this slider right there. Taking pictures is also nicely fast and everything. This is partly because they have integrated the so-called i5 coprocessor. So the octa-core in here is the Kirin 950 that has not only those Cortex A72 cores, but it also has this additional processor for image processing and a bunch of other things that this device does. Let me just quickly give you a small comparison with the Huawei Mate 7, which doesn't unlock right now because the fingerprint reader doesn't work as expected on this device. It's not as good as on the new one. So as you can see, the size is pretty much exactly the same. Actually, it is exactly the same measurements. It is just as wide, just as tall. So it's super hard to actually tell them apart. As soon as you turn them over, that's where you can see the difference. This has this circular design on the fingerprint reader, also circular camera cutout there, and at the bottom on the back you get the speaker on the back right here, and at the bottom is, on the other hand, there's nothing in this case. So from the looks of it, they're pretty much the same, except for the fact that the Mate 8 is pretty much the version 2.0 of the Mate 7, so they've tried to work out all the kinks that were left on the Mate 7 in this case. So that's just been a quick look at the Huawei Mate 8, including a small unboxing here. And I was rolling with Mobile Geeks, checking out this device at CES 2016. If you like what we do on our channel, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and we will see you later.